Hello, everybody. How are you this second to the last day of August in 2020? I tell you what, surprise! This year is flying by, and I feel a little bit like Rumpelstiltskin. I think I have fallen asleep, and every once in a while I open my eyes and go, it can't be September already. But hello, Nikki got her desk cleared off. Good job, Miss Nikki. I'm really proud of you for that. Hello, let's see who all is here. It's so good to see you. So Marcia and Bonnie and Susan and Jody. Hi, sweetie. Nikki. Oh, Polly, it's so good to see all of you guys. Michelle. Oh, I'm so glad that it's beautiful in Rhode Island. Nadine is here. Hello, Nadine. Robin Boyd is here. I hopefully you got your invitation and you're all signed up on our group, Miss Robin. So it is so nice. It's 68 degrees there today. Oh, Susan, I would have loved that. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. And Miss Susan's is testing a quilt. I'm so excited for her. I see the same excitement. I hear it in her and in her emails and stuff that I felt when I first started doing testing. And Miss Susan is really good with the details, so she's going to be a wonderful quilt tester. Unlike me, I do my own thing. That's not what the designer needed. So I think her and Bonnie are wonderful quilt testers. Hello. Oh my gosh, yesterday was 100, Diana, and today it started out at 72. Oh, I hope some cooler weather comes because it is just so humid. Even today inside the house, it feels humid and heavy. Now we're running a bunch of loads of laundry. Do any of you have dogs I'm glad they do this. If they were going to do this, this is the best way. But they'll go and use the bathroom rug when they have to tinkle, when they can't somehow get the message across to you. And so we're washing bathroom rugs. We're doing our every other week sheet washing and a regular load of clothes. So having the lawnmower. No, not the lawnmower. We use a washing machine. But doing about 4 loads of clothes on a humid already day, my windows stay fogged up lately. It has just been the humidity from hell. Thank you. So anyway, hello, Miss Diane 57. This is great. I am tickled that Bonnie is enabling you, Susan, because, sometimes we all need that little nudge to develop our full potential, and she is definitely tapping your potential. So that is wonderful. Michelle the Quilter is here from Central New York. We're so glad you're here. And of course, I wore a shirt today because I thought the color was pretty and it's something different. But it's made out of some weird polyester. It feels terrible. But see what I do? I try to look attractive. So anyway, it is so good to see all of you. I wanted to thank you. You have been so supportive. And, Nikki, I just love that, Nikki. And, but y'all have been so supportive and I appreciate it. So today I got a couple new necklaces to show you that I made. I'm about running out of beads now. I'm realizing seed beads don't make pretty necklaces unless you have a bunch of them. So I think I'll have to slow down with that. Oh, thank you, Miss Susan. Thank you. Marcia's here. It is so good to see Miss Marcia. So anyway, I was going to do these wonderful machine, freehand, embroidered dragonflies. We will do that next week. Yesterday, okay, let me back up. But we've got some exciting things. I bought a few little things. I'm designing a new quilt. Yesterday, I'll tell you more about that, but I'm designing a new quilt. And so if you want a free pattern, I'll give you a free pattern. So, and I've been working on the curved quilt this week, and I've been working on the art quilt that we're doing on Thursdays. Whoops, I think I'm holding it upside down. There it is. And this is from an artwork. I'm doing it for a wonderful young man, a young artist, and from one of his drawings. So I'm really excited. So I'm doing that on Thursdays, and it's coming along really good, and it's gotten me excited again. You know, sometimes we kind of run out of steam, and sometimes we look around and, okay, I don't really want to work on that. I don't really want to work on this. And so sometimes maybe we say, okay, do this much of this, and then you get to start a new project. Or start a new project, but promise yourself you spend a half an hour a day on something you know you need to get done that isn't exciting you as much. But Friday night, yes, Kiwi is here. Kiwi, say hi. Kiwi, uppy downy, uppy downy. Oh, what a good girl. I'll let her come up and she said hi. I'll let her come up here in a moment. But my Friday night, I had an MRI. And I guess with trying to limit the amount of people in the office, in the practice at any one time, my appointment was for 10 minutes to 10 at night. So that was interesting. And they don't allow anyone but the patient to come in. And I told Mark, in this heat and humidity, I didn't want him out in the car because they told me it would be at least an hour. And they said an hour in the machine. It turned out to be about 45 minutes in the machine. Mark's getting ready to go on his bike ride. So he's got it started up out there. So anyway, and you know what? If that can bring him some relief, because we've been a little stressed. But so I drove myself to the MRI. Mark was so sweet. He looked up and he said, okay, this is kind of what you can expect. And this is kind of what they're going to do. And because sometimes it's like, I don't see it, I don't hear it, then maybe it won't happen. But anyway, I'm very claustrophobic. And as you know, I have anxiety disorder. So, you know, it's all that stuff gets me kind of wired up. And when it actually came and I got on the table and he put this heavy thing on me and a belt around my middle and started to move the table into the machine, I got a moment of panic. And my claustrophobia is not just tight places, but also not being free to do what I want, to move when I want, to get up when I want, to go to the bathroom when I want, to get a drink when I want. It's anything that takes away my ability to do what I want is a panicky thing for me. So I'm looking at this machine and they said, well, it's the bigger machine, because I'm a big girl and they put me in the bigger machine. It still looked like a tunnel to me. So when he's starting to move me in and I'm watching this thing come over my head and I've got my hands right down by my side and I couldn't move them if I wanted to. But he gave me a little squeeze ball thing that's connected that if I squeeze it, he knows I'm panicky or I'm in trouble in some way. And so I'm getting ready to go in and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I said, if I let you know I can't do this, can you get me out of here? And he said, I will. And he said, but close your eyes. And that way I wouldn't be able to see the perimeter of the machine. Then he turns on this fan that blew this cool. And I told him the colder, the better. I love being cold. So just nice, cool fan blowing. And that it helps combat the feeling that you're in a tube. And they had to start an IV, and I made sure to drink plenty that day so that they wouldn't have the problems with it. And he said at a certain stage, automatically it'll pump some kind of GAD stuff, which it helps the eye be able to differentiate things in your body. I don't know if it was to go to my kidney so that they could better see the involvement of the mass that they found on my kidney, or what. I don't know exactly what they were looking for. And he said that would happen automatically, and he warned me. He said, okay, we're going to get ready. It's going to get ready to inject that thing into you. And I could feel it. It was cool, and I felt it go up my arm and down into my chest. But if you are claustrophobic, and I'm extremely claustrophobic, you can do an MRI. Make sure you let them know. Make sure you let them know before you even come in. Tell them when you get there. Too often in medical practices, we try to be polite, and we don't want to cause waves, and we just want to come in and get it done and move on. But if you don't tell them, they can't help you. And what he found out, especially because I teared up before going into the machine when the panic, it all of a sudden dawned on me what I was really going to have to do and how I was going to have to be in that tube for 45 minutes. But he saw it, and I told him, and I said, oh, if I push this squeeze button, you'll take me out, right? And he said, yes, which gave me more of a sense of control. And I love the fact that he was a man, because he had a calming, deeper voice, which helped calm me. And since I told him it was clear and he could see it in me, my reaction, that this frightened me, he was so good. He told me everything that was going on. And the machine normally says, okay, take a cleansing breath, take a deep breath, hold your breath. Well, he also, when it's time to do that, he told me. I could hear the automatic machine, but he knew I was really tuned in on his voice. And also the sounds of the machine. I had a couple times where I wanted to panic. Well, every 5 minutes I wanted to panic, and I said, Deb, take deep breaths. You have to do this. If you want to get well, they have to be able to see what they're dealing with. So this test is critical, and you don't want to have to do it a second time because you messed up the first time. And but he told me regular breathing was going to be critical. And what I ended up doing is the machine, they put a headset on you because the machine makes loud noises. Be prepared if you ever have to have an MRI. They make noises. And but I found that the noises, I kind of focused on the noises and kind of did a counting game, and it distracted me. So when I'd feel panicky, I made myself breathe deeply, and then I would time my breaths to the noises that the machine made so that they were very regular. And just breathing in a very normal, relaxed, regular pattern calms you down. So anyway, he did a great job. He told me when we were down to about 15 minutes, that helps, knowing, okay, how much longer do I have to do this? He would tell me, ask me how I'm doing, and I would answer him. And I told him to tell me when my head was out of the machine that I wasn't going to open my eyes until my head was out. And that was great. So hopefully I did the very best job I could. I owed it to Mark. I owed it to myself. I owed it to my children, to all of you, to be serious, take this seriously, so the treatment can begin and we get this done and move on. So anyway, I just thought I would tell you, if any of you ever have to have an MRI, just if you're at all nervous, just tell them, and go prepared to do your deep breathing, to feel like you can take control of things that you can, because there are a few little, just the breathing, the counting. When I had to hold my breath for 20 seconds, I counted it in my head. So that way I would know, okay, I'm up to 12. And every time by 15, they would say, okay, let your breath out. So that gave me a sense of control. And I think we had to do that about 8 or 9 times. So anyway, just remember, tell the medical staff how you feel. Ask them what is there anything you can do to make it better, and focus on the things you can control. And that way you'll get through it. So I was very proud that I got through it. And when the machine came out and I finally could sit up, I was shaking and I felt like crying. I told him, I said, I was doing my best not to cry in front of you. And he said, well, now you know you can do it. And I said, I never want to do that again. But if I do, I'm going to ask for you. You're the only one that's going to let me get in that machine again. So it worked out really nice. And, you know, they're there to help you and they care. They wouldn't be in the medical field if they didn't care. So thank goodness to modern medicine. I'm not going to do any kind of wacky stuff. I'm going straight modern medicine, and I will do anything you say to get myself well. And I got grandbabies to see. In fact, I've got pictures for you today. So thank you, everyone. Oh, Diane 57, that puppy has just given life to your home. I totally agree. Now is not a good time to lose our dear pets because it's too hard with everything else. And good for you for giving another life a bunch of love and place in your heart. So good for you. Good for you. I've got pictures of her puppy. So if you hang in here, I will show you when I do the photos. I'll show you her cute little bear. It's a white fluff ball. He's so cute. Hi, Alexis. How are you? So I'm feeling good. You know, I told Mark I don't expect anything terrible. And I feel good. And I've been getting healthier and healthier. And so we'll just get this handled, move on. I got things to do. In fact, I don't know if Pat Fry is going to pop in, but I got the email. In fact, I got to be honest with you guys. You know how last week I was working so good on my anxiety and stuff? Well, the last 2 nights, Friday night, I didn't get home until almost midnight after doing my MRI. And so I got to sleep sometime after 3:30. Mark came out this morning at 5:15 and said, "Hun, aren't you coming to bed?" I kind of let my anxiety run away, and I was designing quilts. So I'm a little bit tired, but I will catch up. Tonight, probably at 10 o'clock, I'll be snoring on the couch. So anyway, but I've got great pictures to show you. There's Pat. Pat Fry is here. Pat, I got my Myrtle Beach Quilt Party email at like 1 a.m. So I started looking through that. I'm going to go ahead and sign up, but there's a good chance I won't be able to attend. You know, they're going to have, I'm so excited. The classes are all 3-day classes. So you get in your classroom space and that's where you stay. You have your own table. Yay. You have to wear a mask at all times unless you are at your sewing machine. But Mark warned me. He said, you know, what kind of ventilation system does that place have? That's going to depend a lot because too many cases have found if they're constantly recycling air, you are exposed. And I have to decide, do I want to wear my mask the whole time I'm sitting at that sewing machine? I'll have to figure it out. But they put a lot of thought into it. And I'm excited. And the nice thing is each hotel room has its own air conditioning and heating system. So I'm hoping that will help. And, you know, I'll do like I did when I had to travel to Maryland. I'll sanitize the room and everything I touch and take most of my meals and don't go out, and we'll see. But it's not until the 3rd week in January. So I feel like I'll go ahead and sign up and then see what happens. And she's being really good about giving you dates by which you can cancel if you're still not feeling safe enough to go. But I've got my eye on a couple classes. All our good teachers are back. Miss Judy Lily's going to be teaching. And I looked at her class, and I love Miss Judy Lily, but it's an undersea quilt. Well, I just got through doing the Mama Jamma of undersea quilts, so I'm not sure I want to, spend 3 days doing another undersea quilt. But I'm so excited about Judy Lilly teaching this year. Hi, Dawn. It is the Myrtle Beach Quilt Party, and it is held down in Myrtle Beach. And I don't know if Pat remembers the hotel. I've got it. Oh, I do have it. Hold on. I'll show you. Okay. It will open. We're given a couple days ahead a notice if you've been the years before, because it gives us a chance to get our favorite class. But it'll open to the general public in a few days, and I will give you the email address. Okay? So here is what I got in my email. It's at the whoops, hold on. Come on, focus in. What is it doing? Did I accidentally? I zoomed it in. Sorry, guys. Okay, it's at the DoubleTree Resort, formerly the Spring Maid on South Ocean Boulevard, Myrtle Beach. Really nice hotel. Very, very happy about it. Here are questions and the email. So write this down. If you live anywhere near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, or would like to go to a fun class, it opens on Wednesday. The classes are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We end with a Saturday night big banquet, and then we all leave to go home on Sunday. The rates at the hotel are so good. I personally go up. I either stay a day later or go up a day earlier. So I might go up on Tuesday and then come home on Sunday. But it's a whole lot of fun. And then there's the special rate for the hotel. You have to tell them you're with Myrtle Beach Quilt Party. And so here is that. Now, while we're here, and this is Linda McCollum's site, but let me go back to this because I'll show you the classes they're going to have. Okay, and here are all the little rules they're doing. They're going to have doors open to try to improve ventilation. So they say bring a sweater or dress in layers. Melissa Wells is teaching this gorgeous class. Isn't that pretty? Then Joanne Shropshire is doing this pretty quilt. And this year, instead of you could take 2 different classes, you're taking 1 class and you'll stay with it for the 3 days. So you'll actually get a chance to make very good progress. Cindy Page is lovely and been teaching there for years. Look at this pretty thing. Isn't that something? This is Sandy Jacobs, Full Bloom 2. And these teachers are wonderful. Dawn Walker is doing this Infinity. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Then A Roundabout Star by Donna Royson. Love that one. Then Patty Klein. I've taken, in fact, one of the quilt I've been working on this week, I took in a class with Patty Klein. Wonderful teacher. The sister of Cindy Page. Wonderful. Look at that. And she has her own vendor shop, while we're there at Myrtle Beach. They'll have a little vendor shopping area. And then Susan Edmondson. Remember when we did our little Hobbit quilt? It was inspired by a class I took with Susan Edmondson. So this is really cute. She puts a lot of whimsy into her quilts. And one of the nice things is she will have the pattern, threads, embellishments, all that's right in the classroom that you can purchase. And here is Miss Judy Lilly's class. Judy Lilly is a well-known artist. She used to paint before she started quilting and doing her art in quilts. And she was one of the dear ladies that really inspired me to find my true calling, which is art quilt making. So there, I just showed you, I gave you a sneak peek too, because the average person's not getting this information for a while. So there you have some information, and look up on the site. You can, now it'll be open to you. It'll be open to you in a couple of days, and you can download the registration form, send in the payment. You pay the hotel in January when you attend, but you pay the class fee. And for the tote, the banquet, the 3 days of classes, everything, all inclusive except for your hotel room, it's $280. And now you have to bring your own fabric and supplies that way, or buy them there. But you'll have a chance to shop at vendors. And so I've been doing it. This will be my 9th or 10th year. So it's been quite enjoyable. So anyway, was that exciting? I don't think that Miss Mardell Smith would mind me showing it to you. I had to find where y'all were. Okay. So, okie dokie. So anyway, you get a chance to so I'm wondering if Miss Patricia Fry might consider. You do know a lot of the teachers, don't you? That is so cool. So anyway, and the nice thing to remember, Pat, is you stay in the same classroom. So that is very, very nice. So you don't have to like haul stuff, move all around, because that is a lot more difficult. But yes, I think it's very reasonable considering all you get. And last year they put this lamp in our tote bag. I mean, I love this thing. And they also gave us a pair of snips, and they just have all these little sweet things they give you. So it's really nice. And Mardell and her husband have done this for 20 or 30 years, might be over 30 years. So it's a special thing. So I know you wish you could. So it's wonderful. All right. So I told you about that. And now I'll show you some things, and then we'll get busy. I'm trying to be really good and not buy much. Although Miss Susan Smith, she just had to. I'll show you pictures. Gorgeous fabric. So we'll see that in a few minutes. But the other day, I was working on my new grandson Donnie's quilt, and I needed to wind some bobbins for the long arm, and all of a sudden realized I had no more white thread. I mean, no more white thread. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I run out of white thread? So I went on Joann Fabrics, and if you wait 5 minutes and hold your tongue just right, you'll get a sale. So look what I did. Now, some of you might not. Yeah, you are, Robin, you probably got something slightly wrong in the email address. So I think you're thinking of there. I know what you're saying. It's not demon. It's not demon like you would think. But anyway, so what I did is I said, I need thread. I can't go out and shop for it. So I said, I'll buy, I always keep black on hand. Now this is not, I have 4 spools I already put at my upstairs sewing place. But I got a couple blacks. I got 7, what's called new gray, Coates and Clark. And I got the economy size because you know what? I don't buy expensive thread just to buy it. I'm cheap. I've told you that. But I love new gray is what I use for almost everything. And the reason I love this so much is because no matter what color you put it on, now normally when I go in the store, I buy the XP, which, you know, comes in the fancier little things, but I wanted bulk and as much thread as I could get. But if you notice this gray thread's going across here, it doesn't stand out. It's just there. Now let me show you what it looks like if you put white thread. That really gets your attention. So I have learned use the new gray for almost everything I sew, because gray just naturally recedes. But anyway, I got 5 spools of white and I got 3 spools of natural, because this is another good neutral, because when you put it across the fabric, it's just dulled down. White commands your attention. This is dulled down. So I got each of these spools for $2 a piece. And these are, they're big. They're 400 yards of Coats and Clark. I've been sewing with Coats and Clark for years and years and years. Now, I know there are some people who like to use like an 80 weight and all this kind of stuff for their bobbin, especially on the long arm machine. But I have found that this is just a good old thread. It works for me. And I needed to know I had thread and wouldn't run out. And you know what? I thought I would tell you something, because I told Mark, I said, this year I have used more thread than I had used the previous 5 years. Y'all are keeping me excited and sewing, and that's wonderful. So thank you very much. And thank you to Joann's for a great sale. I even got shipping for $3. So, you know, Deb, that's my kind of thing. While I was on there and noticed the sale, I use fusible interfacing a lot, because all of my art quilts I back with fusible interfacing. And the reason I do that is because when you do thread painting, it tends to draw up the fabric. If you put the fusible interfacing, it keeps it flatter, gives it a little extra body so it won't draw up. Really important. If you're going to do a lot of heavy couching, a lot of heavy thread painting, I would put 2 layers on the back. You can always take it off afterwards. But the main thing is to help keep that fabric laying flat. So this is Pellon fusible interfacing. Believe it or not, it was less than 99 cents a yard. It was like 89 cents a yard. I got 12 yards. And I will roll it. I have an empty bolt over there. I'll roll it on the bolt and keep it. But yay, hello, thank you. Because at that kind of price, I don't even have to think twice. So that was wonderful. So anyway, because I've been going through it every time I make an art quilt, and I use a few yards of it. So, oh yes, and anybody who belongs to our group, you can join in on the Monday night live chats. So we have the best group of ladies, and I apologize. I rarely get into the chats, but it's just, especially lately, I feel like my time is tugged here, there, and everywhere. Let me close this blinds. It's a little bright on my face. Hold on just a second, please. So, but anyway, y'all have been so wonderful and so supportive, and just all the most wonderful things. You are my family, my friends, and thank you. I just wanted to show this again. I saw it. I get so tickled. This is the journal that I made. And you know what? This might end up being my journal of my experience coming up the next couple of months. But I love it. I printed out this paper from online, glued it to this plain journal, then decorated it with a little touch of glitter and buttons and sewing item wooden buttons, and then put a little Velcro closure on it. And I just thought I'd show you that again. I get so tickled every time I see it. All right. So then, let me see. I made a couple little bracelets. In fact, I'll put this one on since it goes with my shirt. Now, the problem is it was small enough that I had to use a smaller elastic so it doesn't give a lot. But then I made this. I'm trying to find where the beginning is. Okay. I made this. I had so much fun. I made this twice. First time I tried to use wire to string it up. Well, the problem with using wire is I was twisting that wire so good that I just twisted it and broke it. And the necklace fell apart, so I had to do it all over again. And these are just some agate chips and some pieces of abalone shell, and, you know, very inexpensive. And I think I showed you the rest of the things. I restrung this one. And there is a little one. And then the turquoise one. And then this. And this. So I'm just about done. I tell you what, anything that stands still here, I try to string it. So that has been wonderful. But I've decided the thing I like about doing that jewelry is because it's kind of mindless. And in the evening when I just want to kind of relax, it's mindless. But I think I went in my frame room. Let me tell you, you know, I tell you the truth. I don't hide stuff from you. Well, I had been trying to organize all my paper bead making stuff, and I'd gotten 2 little narrow upright rolly carts with drawers. That was back before COVID hit. This whole time in my frame room, I've had a couple tote bags full of papers and junk that I was kind of saving to make paper beads. I had started, when I would collect new stuff, I would just toss it in the room on the floor. And I had a pile of envelopes and papers just sitting on the floor. So Mark the other day said, "Hon, I'm going to get ready and take out the garbage. And I really want to take out all the garbage in the house. Do you have anything to add to it?" I said, "Yes." So I went in there and I got on the floor and just sat down cross-legged on the floor and went through all the junk, emptied the tote bags, finished the organization in about 1 hour. I got all of it cleaned up and a lot of it thrown away. Because I said, "Deb, are you really going to use some of this stuff?" "No, you're not. Throw it." And that feels so good. Every once in a while, you just got to get on a tear where you just throw stuff out. It's like the weight of the world comes off your shoulders. You don't have, it's like taking away all these decisions you feel like you have to make when you hold on to too much stuff. So it felt really good. And now my room, it's just all nice and organized. And so anyway, just thought I'd tell you, I got that done. It felt good. Now I've got to finish up down this end of this room and then I'll be done. But it is liberating. You're right. And you know what? Get a big trash bag and don't think twice. If you haven't used it in 6 months, if you haven't used it in a year, do you really need it? And just lighten the load. You know what I love? I read something that said, you know, if I really want that, I'll go out and buy another one. It's so that it takes away that panicky feeling of, oh, what if I throw it away and then I need it? If I really need it, I'll go buy another one. And I never do. So it works. So Jamie, it is so good seeing you. How is Miss Crystal? How are y'all doing? And I hope the weather, but anyway, but I got that cleaned up. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself now. Yeah. So anyway, but I've decided that in the evenings, I'm going to work on my Bonnie. I hope you're listening. My LaFleur and paper bead rolling. So like if I can't concentrate on the LaFleur, I'll do bead rolling. And because, it's funny, I looked at the paper bead stuff and having that pile sitting there and those sacks full of just junk, it kind of made me not like the paper bead rolling very much. Now that I got it all organized, I can't wait to do it again. So, and I will be working on my LaFleur. I've got a couple things to finish for Bonnie. My paint chip challenge, it's sitting in that little teal tote, middle shelf. One of these days, in fact, that's what I was going to tell you. I get so excited about the fall quilt patterns coming out and the thought of making pumpkins and making cute Halloween quilts. And I'm like, I'm torn. What I'm going to do in the next coming up weeks, I'm going to show you how to make a fabric pumpkin and just something to make your heart happy. And so I didn't forget the paint chip challenge. All these things are like right here. But we will do a fabric pumpkin. Very easy and fun to make. And if you don't have a styrofoam ball, then just use scraps of batting and to stuff it. So we will do that. Today I was supposed to be showing you how to make a wonderful translucent dragonfly that you can make as a pin to wear or put it on a quilt. But I got busy doing this quilt designing stuff and didn't get it prepared. So I apologize. We will do it next week. So let me see. So you see I was working on my curved quilt this week because that is going to be a gorgeous quilt. I want to get it done. So let me see. Yes, and then Christmas is coming up. So we have to, I always feel like if you want to get something done for Christmas, start it by September. So I have a couple panels, and then I have a new grandson, and I have an fabric advent calendar that I'm going to make pockets for so they can put little treats in his advent. So let me see. Okay. So it looks like I've talked just about everything. And I'm going to show you pictures. Hold on. Let me get it. I'm going to show you how I sew the curves for that. Pretty simple. And don't let me forget to show you all your photos. Come here, Kiwi. Come here. Good girl. Here's our Kiwi. You haven't seen her in a while. Here's our Kiwi. Can you say hi? She's a good girl. Can you say hi? You want to uppy downy? Huh? Want to do uppy downy? No, you want to get on my shoulder? Uppy downy. Can you say hi to Nikki? Huh? Say hi. That's a good girl. You said, oh, she's saying hi. She's so happy to see you. So she is a lovely lady. I've been trying to make myself spend more time with her. I have trimmed her wings. You notice there's no blue under here so that she can't fly away. So what I'm doing is I take her out with me when I water plants, and she enjoys that. She always keeps that eye up to the sky, though, because she's like, her instincts say a big bird can come get her. So can you say hi? Do uppy downy, huh? Good girl. Yes, you do. Oh, you're such a good girl. Can I have a kiss? Can you give me a kiss? Hey. Thank you. Good girl. Want to dance? Oh, yeah, we're dancing. Good girl. So, yes, y'all have missed her for a long time. And I said, today, I'm bringing her down so we can visit. Because she's, She's a doll baby. I know what I was going to show you. Silly me. All right. If I got to sleep before 5:30 in the morning, maybe I wouldn't be this tired. So, because I can't sleep all day. Okay. So I got excited. It's probably because I was supposed to clean house yesterday and I didn't want to clean house. So what do you do when you don't want to clean a house? You design a quilt. So anyway, I got working with, let me show you. This looks so complicated. It is not. It is simple. And, oh, that's kind of the same thing. No. This is one of the initial designs of the quilt. And doesn't this look complicated? But trust me, it's easy. Here's another view of it. And here's a list of fabrics. But let me show you what makes this so easy. Right here. Whoops. Do you see this? This is a paper piecing pattern. And it's numbered which one to do when. And I like it because it looks woven. Isn't it? Oh, hi, Betty Middleton. Nice to see you. So soon as I figure out the color layout that I'm going to do, and soon as I at least make a couple blocks, I'm going to offer this as a free pattern to y'all. And you can all be my pattern testers. And I'm also going to need a name for it, but it only has 2 blocks. It has this block right here and this block right here, which is the reverse. That's it. And I will tell you how many to make and all. So you just print it out and you put your fabric where A1 is, right up here. And then follow A2, A3, all the way through. So it's going to be easy. I was wanting to make a string quilt because string quilts are just thoughtless. And then I said, okay, well, if I make a string quilt, then I want it to have an interesting design because I've done a string quilt where I'd make them into the diamond shapes. I wanted something more exciting. So now what I'm going to do, let me show you. I designed it on my EQ at 8, and let me show you. Hold on just a second, people. Let me take you to my EQ8, which is Electric Quilt. It's a designing program. And let me show you what I did. I will open my library, and I started off with blocks. And I started off, whoops. I did this all yesterday and until 5 this morning. But I started off different ways, trying to think of how to make string blocks and how to make them more interesting. Okay, I hope you can see this. But these are my string blocks. Then I started coloring them and then and I tried all different kinds and then tried different colors. So you can kind of see my progress as I was kind of working with what can I do with these string blocks and how can I make them interesting? So I went and typed in on my Google string blocks and I saw a block similar to this, but I could never find what they had made when they used a block. This is not exactly, but it just is kind of back this way, this way, this way, this way, which makes it look woven. And I was intrigued by that. So I went through several different morphings of this. Because like this was just going to make that diamond block that we've all seen a bunch of times. So I said, no, I want something different. So then when it took me quite a while, a couple of hours to try to get the block sections, the thickness that I wanted, the variation I wanted. And then what I did is started using different color combinations to just see where I wanted to go on this. And then not really understanding how the design works yet, I tried to, oh wow, I was a busy girl yesterday. Here is this block that I did. And then I just kind of came through and tried all these different blocks to see what I could do with them. And turning them, rotating them. But then I found that by using that block I was just showing you, you could get some interesting designs. Actually, I think that's it. But as you can see, so when I first used that block, that woven looking block, I was like, okay, this is interesting, but it doesn't have enough of a statement. It doesn't tell me who it is. Still a little chaotic at this point. So I tried spinning them all different ways. Finally, I realized that if I did a mirror image block, I could make it do this. And I thought, aha, I'm on to something now. So then I spent the rest of the wee hours trying to figure out what color combination would make it pop. And if you can see, it looks like it has a lot of depth. It looks like it's woven. It looks complicated, and it is so absolutely simple. So what I need to do now is find a color set that's just going to knock my socks off. And I don't think I've done that yet. I'm just going to keep working with it. And I'm trying to understand how to make it look exciting without it being overwhelming. Okay, so that is what I was working on for about almost 48 hours, just playing with that. And it was a good thing because it just distracted me. So while I'm here at the photos, let me go ahead and show you your photos. And then after we see the photos, I'm going to show you how to sew curves very easily and with only 3 pins. Okay? All right, so let me close this down. But anyway, I hope you might be interested in that little quilt. Maybe I'll probably do a runner and a small wall hanging. I've got the blocks at 6 inches, so even if it's the full amount, it's not going to be that big. So, because I don't need another big quilt right now, and I don't want to use a whole bunch of fabric. I figured use about 8 fat quarters. And some white, you got it done. All right, so now let me go to photos. I love showing your photos. I love the inspiration. Love it. Okay, here we go. Let me bring you back down. Let me turn my computer to turn this off, and let's look. Okay. All righty. Now, Miss Akko, I think she's been inspiring us all. And between that and Pat and Nadine, boy, have they been inspiring us. But Miss Akko decided, she's been so busy working on her farm. They've got goats now, too. And so she decided to get her sewing room all cleared, cleaned up, organized, so that during the winter months when she has time, then she'll be able to easily go into her room, find what she needs, and work on it. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my gosh, that is terrific. Just love, love, love Miss Akko. So hopefully soon we'll see pictures of her goats. So let's see. Now, that you know Miss Alexis and her embroidery. She does beautiful embroidery. So she's been a little busy, but soon we will be seeing some more of her work. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? So this is one she's working on right now, chromium. So I can't wait. All right. Let's go back here. And, oh, B sent me something so cute. B is, I'll show you this. This is when she did hand embroidery. And this is a beach scene that she made. And is that gorgeous or what? I love it. And she had some way of using Tyvek material to make the stones. Oh my gosh. And look at the embroidery of the seaweed on the beach. Look at this netting. So she's a very, very talented and artistic woman. And she sent me a picture of her granddaughter here and the granddaughter's son, Dylan, who's 7, and her granddaughter's partner, and they just bought a house and they're going to have twins. So how exciting is that? So Miss B is very, very tickled, and we're happy for her. All right. Then Miss Bonnie's been busy. In fact, I think Miss Bonnie is responsible for me trying to get some UFOs done. She has been very good at working on her projects. These are our COVID community house blocks. Then look at this. She is working up a storm. In fact, I recognize that fabric. That's beautiful. Here is her storm at sea. I can't wait to see this. She said she's missing a fabric, so maybe if she can share a photo of the fabric, we'll see if we have any of that, and we'll share it with her. We like helping out fellow quilters, but isn't this beautiful? I think it's a stunning rendition. Just beautiful. All right. And let's see. Then Miss Cheryl Lemon has been very busy. She's gotten 3 of these labor-intensive but cute as a button quilt blocks done. Oh my gosh, that is just lovely. Love it. Here's her latest block. Isn't that so cute? It reminds me of, antique blocks, but it has, with the plaids and stuff, it gives it a little modern flair. And then here is a quilt she's working on that we were trying to give her hints as to what price she could charge for that. She's got a buyer interested. So now let's see. Let us see. I'll come back to mine in just a moment. But Miss Diana Wright has been a cooking gal of late. Let me tell you, one day I'm going to pop in and say hi, and I'll have my bathing suit and an empty tummy and want to be fed and want to swim in her beautiful pool. Look at these pizzas. I mean, are they great or what? And pretzels. She made pretzels. Give me some mustard, a little bit of salt, and I'm ready. Yum. Okay. And then I just left her pool picture. I just left this cute squirrel in here. I just love this squirrel who's trying to figure out what that pool is. But he's smart. You notice how he's flattened out. He's not taking chances. That is just so cute. And now the last category is her quilting. She has been working on Civil War era quilt. And look at these beautiful, let me make it bigger, but look at these beautiful blocks. You ever notice how clean her carpet is? If I were to put something down on the floor, I'd be embarrassed to show you. But those are beautiful. And then this, I think this is more of the same. And then she's been working on a Quilt of Valor. Somehow I might have accidentally missed. She had another row of the Quilt of Valor, and now I don't know where it is. I'm sorry, sweetie. I will have to look for that. And then we have Dora's Wonderful dragon quilts. Wonderful, wonderful. I think I missed somebody on the way. Diane 57. Are you ready? Baby Bear is making his debut on our Sunday live stream. Look at this sweet, sweet little baby. He is 3/4 Maltese and I think 1/4 Shih Tzu. And just as cute. Look at that little face. Oh my goodness. And look, is that the cutest thing? I think that face would make anybody just as happy as can be. So congratulations on your new baby, Diane 57. We are so happy for you, hon. And I tell you what, if this time doesn't make you realize life is short and, go for it. Keep your heart happy. You've worked hard your whole life. So here is Miss Marcia's journal that she made. And I love her theme of hearts. I've seen those on a couple things now. It's lovely. Way to go, Miss Marcia. Now let's see who else. Miss Nadine. Miss Nadine has had an exciting day. Sorry, I was bumping the microphone. But every day, Miss Nadine has really been an inspiration to us this week. She shared that she goes out because of the whole COVID and stressful times. She goes out in the morning and finds a beautiful shot of a sunrise. And she's been sharing these with us, and they're so absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. And these also are good to keep. I will always keep these because if you ever want to make a gorgeous quilt, here you've got your inspiration. And maybe she can tell us, what are these things in the river? Are they stones? Are they buoys? I was wondering when I looked at that. Look at this. Tell you what, if we could travel to Europe, I'd be in Germany. It is absolutely gorgeous there. And this is just nature. And then when you see the beautiful architecture, oh, wow. And when you realize what a great job they've done with their COVID crisis, oh, man, I'll move there in a second. Now, this is Nadine's husband working on making a pattern for a cutout for her sewing machine. Because everybody has been, and especially Pat Fry, everybody's been doing such a good job of cleaning up their sewing rooms that she decided to organize hers, and she wanted to get a better piece of furniture for her sewing instead of having something that's a wee bit wobbly or shaky. So they're getting the cabinet this week, but her husband's cutting out the patterns so he can have her machine sit down in the desk, which, oh boy, you ladies know that's the absolute very best way. Now look at this beautiful quilt. She's got a friend who is an architect who just had a baby. So she made the house quilt and then the beautiful Edita Sitar block of the nest and then she did it in blues for the new baby boy. Isn't that sweet? And now, look, this is what her machine will look like recessed down in the table. And that makes all the difference in the world. So I'm so happy for her. Beautiful machine. Is that a Pfaff? I can't tell. Or Janome. It's beautiful. All right. Thank you, Miss Nadine. But Miss Nadine is such an inspiration to us. What a dear, dear lady. And here is the lady who started all of this room reorganization, cleaning. She moved her sewing room to give the former space to the husband, which is so sweet. So look at this. And she is little by little getting it all set up. I love all the windows, sweetie. And it looks like, what, a slider door? Beautiful. But she's getting it all done. This is Miss Patricia Fry. and doing a very good job. And I noticed this tapestry on the wall, but I thought it was something purchased. No, I think it was her grandmother or something made that tapestry. So I was quite impressed with that. Very impressed. Okay, now let's see. Who else do we need to look at here? And, okay, we'll look at a couple. You probably saw these last week, but I left a couple of them up to show you again. This is Zane, I think his name is, who lives in Australia. This is one of her grandsons. Then this is Dominic, grandson that lives with her, and her daughter's son. He cute as can be. Look at him, all set up, working on his schoolwork with his dog, Ziggy, right there at his feet. Look at this. She's doing all by hand, cathedral window blocks. Can't wait to see that develop. You remember her Parasol Ladies quilt. And another one of Mr. Dominic. And there's Zane's first day of preschool. So thank you, Miss Sarah. Okay, let's go back. And let's see. Let's look at Miss Susan. Yes, Miss Susan decided she just had to have it. And I think we all agree. It's so beautiful. Yeah, we agree. She had to have that. So way to go, Miss Susan. Don't you just love it? I tell you what, you can't wait to cut it and pet it. But then it's like, oh, but I kind of hate to. It's so pretty the way it is. So we all understand that. Beautiful, beautiful. And Miss Susan's been busy between her quilt testing, which she can't share with us yet. It's a secret until the designer is ready to have it published. But here is a block she's making. She's doing this along with Bonnie. It's red work, which is a hand outline embroidery. And it can be any color. It was just named red work because they used to use turkey red yarn because it was so cheap and commonly available. It used to be that red dye was made from squishing a whole bunch of Brazilian bugs. But then when they came up with the turkey red dye, everybody could have red. So aren't these great? Christmas in Jacksonville or something like that, I think is the name of it. But she is working really hard. We're so proud of her. Okay, now I'll go back to mine and show you some grandbabies. So I don't think I have anything but and now it's so cute. I named the folder Grandsons. It's so cute because I can say to my son, hey, how are the boys? So here is his grandfather, his mother's father, Nikki's dad, Mike. And there is our Russell. They're looking at Mike's cell phone. That boy loves anything electronic. Okay, now the next photo. Look at him. This is Russell. He's starting to look less like a baby and more like a little boy. Is that so cute or what? Oh, gosh, he's growing up. Once they had his long hair cut off, he's all of a sudden looking so grown up. I'm very lucky that his other grandma, Farron, she has been keeping me supplied with photos. And this is new Donnie, and he is having a very good dream. I'm not sure what it is, but he's a happy little boy. And there is little Donnie, who's now almost 2 weeks old. 2 weeks tomorrow. Wow. So he looks like he's doing beautifully. And I think let me see. Oh, she sent me this last night. Is he the cutest thing? Gosh, I miss him. I just want to hold him. But what a cute little boy. And they're living in a generational home, which is very common in their Filipino culture. And I tell you what, I'm right tickled for it. That little boy's going to have plenty of love. So that's wonderful. All right. I think, was there anything else I needed to show you? I think that was all. And while I was showing you and talking, Kiwi has been playing with my hair and tugging at my collar like, Mom, what are you doing? But this is not interesting to a bird. And how can you play with me, Mom? Oh, I know. She was telling me. Yep, she was. Oh, Kiwi, you're so funny. You're so funny. You're so funny. You say hi? Can you say hi? Yes, you can. Oh, you're so excited. So excited. So anyway, yes, Russell is growing up. And I know that he won't remember much of this time. And eventually I'll be able to go and visit with him. And I'll be able to bring him down here and have him all to myself for a week. That's going to be wonderful. So Kiwi, the hairstylist, yes, she's been messing with it. And see, she's like, don't mess it up, Mom. I had it just right. I was pushing it from the other side, and she's like, no, you're messing with that. I had it just the way I liked it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? You want to say hi? Say hi. 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 Yeah, good girl. Good girl. All right, well, I'm going to put her back on her little stand. So, oh, Vicky Robles. He does look a lot like his grandfather. He does. So it's so good to see you, Vicky, sweetheart. So anyway, I'm going to put her back on her stand and show you how I do these curved blocks so easily. All right, ready? Step up. Step up. Step up. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. All right. One of the things I want to do soon is to make some more of these organizers, because boy, do I fill them up fast. I never just work on one thing at a time. So the pattern I'm working on is called Urban 9-Patch. And here is the contact information if you want to get your own copy of the pattern. Here's the information for it. So it will stay on this live stream. You can check it anytime you want. And so what I'm doing is I'm making these blocks. Now, they've got these blocks laid out on a normal grid. But, you know me, I saw this photo where they're laid on point. And I went, that's what I want to do, which is a little bit more work. But I think it's well worth it. I love them laid on point. And I saw this coloration, which I went, wow, I liked it better than, sometimes I like bright primary colors, but this one just knocked my socks off. So that's why I chose the colors I did, and I'm going to do the on point. And on point just means you take a square and you turn it so it's like a diamond, okay? So that's what I'm working on. And up until this point, you made a 9-patch. Then you took the special ruler, is called the Quick Curve Ruler. And I've got it around here somewhere. It's under a pile. Sorry, I will find it. It's probably in the tote that I used for the class, but I've had it out of the tote for a while now, so I have to go back and find that tote. But anyway, it's called a Quick Curve Ruler. It makes short work of this because you lay the Quick Curve Ruler on the block, and what's so nice is you don't have to mark it and then cut it. You just put your rotary cutter in the slot and off you go. Yes, so kind of wonderful. Very good. Oh, gosh, Susan, I love you to bits. I honestly, I don't know what I'd do without Susan. I couldn't do this. I could not do this. So love, love, love Susan. If you go to their site, they've got all kinds of curved quilts that are made so easy with the different rulers, and their cutting and sewing methods are so simple. So you use that ruler and you turn what was a 9-patch into this cool shape. Then at that point, the ruler also helps you cut out these interesting shapes. And as you can see, you take and sew these shapes onto those cool, interesting blocks. And then once you get all 4 of those wedges sewn on, then you trim them up to 8 inches and it looks like this. Okay? Then you need the pretty things to go around the outside edge. Okay? So you take your ruler and it shows you how to cut these wedge shapes. And then you piece them together, straightforward, simple. Then you trim them up. And then you apply them. Okay, so half square triangle, a swag, a half square triangle. Yep, these are the blocks behind me. The only difference is they're put on point and the colors are so awesome. So I have at least 25 to make. I think on point I might have to make a few more. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. So I hope I got you interested in the pattern. It's not an expensive pattern at all. And I do believe you can download it right from the site, so you don't have to sit and wait for the mail. So, okay. And is everybody okay? Oh, thank you, Pat. Thank you. Okay. So I've got a little cutting mat, and I've got my iron. Let me get my iron started so that can be warming up. This is what I have, okay? Now, I think I didn't, I've got all different colors. The one thing I'm going to want is I fussy cut the centers, but I did it before I realized I wanted them on point. I may be going back and hand by hand turning the centers so they'll be upright when they're on point. But that's another day. But anyway, I've got all these to this stage. But the good thing is I have a few left that I don't have to that stage, so I'm going to show you. This is going to be an heirloom quality quilt. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to finish this. And remember the classes that I showed you for Myrtle Beach? Well, this is one of Patty Klein's classes. So, all right, let me get the pieces I need for it and bring the camera down, and I will show you how I put this together. All right. All right. So, here is my block. Let me move this back over here. Here is my block. And see how it was cut with the ruler. You make a simple 9-patch, you cut it with the ruler. Here are the little wedges that go one on each side. And you take and instead of drawing a line, what I do is I take and fold them very accurately, meet the ends together, and press. That shows me where the line is. So just make sure that everything lined up and press. Usually I press these with my iron. Then I do the same thing here. You need to be able to find the center of this side, because remember, you only pin in 3 places. Okay, so you just take your fingernail and you make a fold line. All right, Take care, Miss Nikki. Thank you for coming and spending time with us. We just love you to bits, girlfriend. Our new 36-year-old gal. Way to go. All right, I've got a nice neutral thread in here. I take one of my wedges. Take one of my wedges. It is so nice to see Jamie back with us. I missed her, and I missed hearing about Miss Crystal. I love children. I always have. It's so funny because when I was growing up, I was never going to have children. I'm so glad I did. My life would be so different without my children. All right. Now remember, this point, you have to get up to about here before the 1/4 inch line would be. So you let this little point dangle out, okay? Because the 1/4 inch mark here is in here. So you don't line that all the way up to the end. And on something like this, it's going to want to twist and turn. I take and run the pin through twice. That way it helps keep the fabric more stable. Then I'll come over. So I've pinned it in the middle. I've pinned it on this end. I'll pin it on this end. And do you know what I mean when I say 1/4 inch? Here is 1/4 inch stick. So you would have to come in 1/4 inch from the end and 1/4 inch from either side. So the final stitching point, 1/4 inch from each side. So the stitching dot that you would put would be way up here. So, do you know I never use this thing, but it's nice to have when you need it. But anyway, so just remember to put the stitching point would be here for this one. So let that tip run long, okay? All right, and I love these little fine pins with the glass heads. All right, so now I have that double pin. And I've got a bamboo skewer. Why does she have a bamboo skewer? Take care, Michelle. Take care. It's so good to see you. All right, so now I like to use a bamboo skewer because if the needle hits it, it most likely will not break the needle or hurt my machine. But this will help me manage the little end where it gets tricky, okay? Michelle, I love you, girlfriend. Michelle is the reason I started all this. I was missing my Michelle who moved back to be with her grandkids. All right, I've placed it under the needle, okay? And let me get in a little, oops. Okay, now the one thing, you know what I'm going to do real quick? I'm going to use a leader and ender system with this because it's too easy when you're sewing a tiny point. It's way too easy to have it drug right down into the little hole. So now that I've started a few stitches, it'll stabilize it. Yeah, don't forget the Monday night Jitsi, people, for all members of the group. All right, are you ready? So I've got it in line. Here is my 1/4 inch. I've got a 1/4 inch foot, a 1/4 inch guide. Let's do this. And sometimes I pull on the leader just to make sure that it doesn't try to bring my thread down into the machine. Come on. Oh, it's hard to get it started. Let me try again. Let me push it a little further. Okay. There we go. Okay, so what you're going to do is you've got it pinned there. Then you're just going to kind of look and gently guide to make sure your edges stay lined up, okay? And let's say if this edge is shooting too far this way, just pull it back gently and watch as it goes in. Now, let's say if you had too much fabric, on top, then just pull back on this. If you have too much fabric on the bottom, then lift it up. And that'll ease in the extra fabric so that you get a nice smooth and flat. And see how flat we are now going into the middle? That's very good. That's just what you want. Okay, so now, and you see I'm doing it slowly. This is not a zip together quilt in a day. This is an heirloom quality quilt. So we're taking our time. And I'm just going to gently work so that these fabrics go in with the raw edges very even. You see what I'm doing? Okay. Always just gently checking that your edges are lined up. Now this is where I will get my skewer, and I'll use my skewer. I mean, I'm being fancy for a Deb. Let me tell you, I'm using a skewer. That's pretty cool. All right. So now let's see what we've got. Okay. Take it back out. I'll take out my 3 pins. I will trim off this thread and get ready and put my leader back in place and stitch to close to the end. There we go. All right, let's see what we've got. All right. Now, since this, I'm going to fold this down. It should lay flat. If for whatever reason it had to be folded the other way, I would take nips and I would do little clips in the fabric every inch or so. But this is going to fold down, so it has plenty of room to spread out. Okay. But look at this. It came out beautifully. Now let me iron it, and then I'll show it to you again. Let's get it ironed. Oops. All right. And since I'm going to iron, I'm going to press it. In fact, let me do something real quickly. All right. Let me get all this out of the way. Boy, she's a busy girl today. So I'm going to press this away from the white because I want no shadowing coming through. I'm a big stickler on that. I think I told y'all that Donnie's quilt had some shadowing through some of those pinwheels. And that is a big no-no, but okay. There we go. So then, look at this. Do you see how easy that is? And look at it. Smooth as can be. Smooth as can be. All right. So now you've got that one put there. This is how you do this. You've sewn this one on. So what you're going to do now is go to the opposite side. First, let me make my fold. I saw the best movie last night. It was John Wayne, The Searchers. That was so good. That's the best acting I've ever seen him do. And he had a horse on that set that was so tuned into him. It was an amazing sight. Okay, here we go. I'm lining up these 2 lines. And I'll put, and this way, if I do 2 of them and they both come out good, then you'll know that this really does work and it's not hard. Remember, put the pen through 2 times to keep it from twisting or racking. Then line this up here. Remember, having this run long, because that little tiny bit is not going to have a 1/4 inch place to stop. So, and you put this one right here, having that little tip hanging out again. And I like using these very fine pins because they don't tend to scrunch the fabric around. All right, so I've gotten this. My leader is sewn and brought down into place. Let me see if I can start this one off just a little easier. Okay. Yay! I got it started much easier this time. Just kind of takes a practice and a feel for it. All right, now gently stitch, keeping the raw edges together. That's what I'm doing with this, is just making sure these raw edges right here are together. And you can kind of watch as it reaches a point where it curves again and the fabric kind of gives. So, making sure you're always smooth as you can leading into the next turn. Okay, now match up these edges again. And just take your time. You're not going to sew them fast, but if you don't have to rip them out and do it again, you really save time then. Okay, so just matching up my edges. And sometimes it gets a little tricky. You kind of have to pull the bottom fabric out a little bit and then just carefully, slowly ease it in, pulling and stretching if you need to, pulling gently if you need to ease a little bit in, and then using my bamboo skewer as a stiletto to get that last piece in, because you don't want the very end of it to just whoosh, you know how they'll do, and it'll push out and all of that. Okay. Let me nip off my leader and get it going. Always put it in place, because that way when you get your piece and you've got it pinned and held together just right, you don't have to worry. All right. I think we got another winner. All right. So now I've shown you how to put those wedges on. Let's look at what else it takes to make this block such a stunner. Okay, I'm pressing this. Come on, iron, heat up. And feel free to starch these too, if that helps you. I'm a big fan lately of starching, because if it has to be accurate, starch really improves your accuracy. All right, so now I've got those two. You just do the same on these other sides. I'm going to put this aside and show you the next step. Okay, what we have to make are these. Okay, now we need those, and then we need half square triangles. And in the beginning, I made half square triangles, and I made them 8 at a time. I've done that for you before, but let's figure out how we make these. All right, I've got a bunch half made. All right, it takes 2 different kinds of wedges. It takes this shape, which we just used on the 9-patch block. And it takes where is my other wedge? It takes these shapes and it takes, so it takes, this is a good way to describe it, takes a frown, it takes an average smile, and then it takes a very big smile. So these are the 3 things you need. And remember the ruler. I'm not big on buying every ruler out there, but this was a good reason to buy a ruler, trust me. Because you'd never be able to get this without it. It would be too difficult. So, okay. Now I'll show you how to make this. All right, I'm going to keep my skewer handy. Never know. All right, let's come on down here. Let me show you this real quick. All right. I'm going to get one of these big smile pieces and put it together with a blue smile. This fabric I got at Pineapple Fabrics, and oh my God, it is the prettiest color. It's a very deep, stormy sky teal. Beautiful. And I love it because it makes this quilt just that much special. All right, so I've got my fold in the middle of each of these. So I just line up my folds. Now this is where it gets funny, and you may have to look at the picture to make sure you're right. Because what you're doing, here you've got a smile. Whoops, let me try that again. Here you've got a smile. Then you've got to put this piece in place. But to get that, to sew it right, you have to put them opposite. So this one's coming, the white one's coming up, the blue one's going down. And trust me, that's the correct way. You match the fold marks together. Now, if you didn't want to fold them and iron them, you could draw a line. But I would much rather fold and iron. Drawing a line, I hate drawing on fabric. It scrunches everything. You have to have the little point stick out, because where would your, hold on a second, where would your 1/4 inch line be? Back here. Your 1/4 inch line on this would be right there. So have you, anytime that there's that little point like that, it always has to stick out just a touch. And that way you know you've got it right. All right. So you stick that out a touch. Okay. Then you come down this end, do the same thing. Let that white pointy part stick out a touch. Put this here. Pin it twice. There we go. Okay? Now, you can decide whichever way you wish to sew this together. Since I pinned it on this side, I'm going to sew it on this side. Let me run it in here real quick to show you what I'm doing. All right. And I just start stitching it, keeping that fabric together. Let me get this pin out of the way so I can better pull this fabric, because I really want to make sure, see how that white is? I want to make sure they're matching perfectly. And they're still kept right up against this 1/4 inch guide. Okay, see how I kind of hold them. Now I'm going to try to lay it flat and ease it in. Looks like this part has a little more thickness. So what I'm going to do is pull it up like this. This is one of the best tips you can ever have. The feed dogs will then feed in what amounts to extra fabric below. The feed dogs, and I'm kind of pulling it to keep them even, but the feed dogs will help you feed in that fabric so you don't get a pucker. Okay? Now we've gotten to the middle, so I can lay it down, making sure I'm lining those raw edges up, coming on through. I used to be terrified of sewing curves. I'm not anymore. I've done enough now and realized just taking your time, easing it, pinning it. Don't over pin it. That's where people make their big mistakes with curves. 3 pins is all you need to sew a curve. There we go. Now I'll bring this out. I'll show you real quick. Cut this off, put it right back under and sew it, because trust me, you'll be happy it's already ready to go. Take your pins out. We're going to press to the dark. So you leave the dark. Whoops, let me back up a little bit now. You leave the dark on the top and you finger press it first. And see how good these edges match now that you left that little piece hang over? All right, so I like to finger press it before I take it to the iron, because then the fabric already knows. Now, this fabric is folding up. See how it's got little ripples? This fabric, it's taking a lot of fabric and you're smushing it into a smaller area. Can you see that? You're taking all this fabric, and since it's pointing this way, it's starting to ripple because there's just too much fabric. So this is where you come in and very carefully take a nip. You don't go all the way to your 1/4 inch stitching line. You just stop a few threads away, and you come around, and every 3/4 of an inch you give it a little nip. Now this is an extra time that you're taking, but trust me, it is worth it. Now when you go to press it, it allows these fabrics to overlap a little bit and lay nice and flat. So let me compress it. Pressing it to the dark, being very careful. You don't want to stretch it all out. Just very gently working it in. Okay, there we go. So now we've got one more piece to put on it, but I think you would agree it came out beautifully. Look how flat this now lays. All right, so now we need a regular wedge. A regular, what was considered the frown. And it's going to fit right in here. So to get it to work right, you have to do this. Place it upside down on it, which makes you think, how in the world is that going to work? How can I sew those edges together? That's where the curve comes in. So I'm going to pin it right down on this fold. Going to pin it. Okay. And then come match this. Now this is the point this time. So I don't come all the way quite to the edge. I leave a little part of that point hanging out there. Do the same thing here. Just leave a little. This is not too sharp of a point, so I leave less hanging out. Pin it twice to keep it from twisting. All right, now I've got this in place. Let's go. Come right in here nice and close. That way you can see what I'm doing. Get a couple stitches started so you're anchored. Making sure that I've got these edges. Making sure I've got these edges lined up. When they go under that needle, those raw edges are right in line with each other. So far, the fabric feels good. I don't have any excess anywhere. Okay, and see how when I get to this point, if you see that underneath fabric, I'm not lined up. So when I get to that point, I readjust and see how the fabric kind of turns to go around the next part of the curve. Here we go. When I first started sewing, something like this would have scared me, but now this is a piece of cake. Okay, even Y seams don't scare me anymore. Okay, I'm using this bamboo skewer because that way, even if the needle hits that, it's less likely to damage my machine. All right, I'll take these out, cut this off, and put this back in place. Just a habit. I guess what I'm trying to teach you is get into a habit of doing that. You will thank yourself. All right, so here we've got this. I don't want to push it up against the white. It's got to come down this way. So we'll come back. And it's going to come down this way. And it lays pretty flat. I don't really need to trim that. All right, then I'm going to go to the iron. And press it to the dark. Okay, so here it is. Now, there is some trimming that has to happen because you'll see this is much wider. This is about 3/8 of an inch wider than this finished piece. So I've already trimmed this. There's a special way you do it with a ruler. I've already trimmed this. What I'm going to do is I want to show you how you finish the edge of this block. So let me get this pressed and ready. And then I need 2 finished pieces. Let me press this one. Okay. Let me show you what I do next. I hear Mark is back. It's always a good sound to hear him coming back. All right. So now it's going to go against, it's going to go this way on the block. And that looks a little odd, but that's what makes it look so special. And then this is going to look like a special point that comes in. So now the tricky part is getting this lined up correctly. And I think I've got it. Yay. Okay, so each of these get sewn this way. See that? Okay, so I'm going to put this here. I don't think I need to pin it. I think I just need to get it in place. Stitch it 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and I don't really need this right now, so I'll put that aside for the moment. I've got this one. Then I come over here and put this one here. Stitch this on. Okay. So altogether, you need to have 2 of these per block, 2 of these, and I'll show you one other thing. Put that there to get ironed. Now, so only 2 of the sides get that treatment. The other sides just get a simple straight piece. You'll see this will all make sense in just a moment. And these have all been trimmed so that they're the same 8 inches. These little block borders are 8 inches and the block is 8 inches. And you stitch it 1/4 of an inch along. Okay. And I'm going to do this real quick. I don't mean to take too much time, but I want to show you how the next piece fits on. So remember, this curved piece goes towards the block and line them up and stitch them down. Line them up and stitch them down. All right. I did not have this. Hold on just a second. I let this edge of the block kind of dip down. So let me take out just a little bit of this. Not that much, but I didn't hold it tightly. Okay, so now let me line this back up. All right. There. This time I held it better, so I think it's going to work out. Now, let me press this real quick, and I'll show you how to put this other side on. All right, so now this is what I have. So I'm going to take the piece with the squares on the ends, and remembering that the curved side goes towards this. See how this is going to fit on? So I just have to get my pins. This is where I definitely want to pin to match these seams up. So I will put this, and look, these can just overlap right there. And I pin it. Making sure that it's nice and lined up. Then I come down here and I pin this one. And one thing that I found when I was sewing these, that it really helped to pin this outside edge, because I found that it tended to want to twist just a touch. So it's good to have this pinned, and I'll pin this one also. Okay, now let's sew this down. Okay, making sure. I kind of tried to drag that thread down, so let me try it again. Okay. I could have used that leader again right there. I'm going to back it up. I noticed I got a little short right there, and that will affect the squareness of the block. So I just back it up, keep it right up against this edge. All right. Now, take my pins out. And back this up a little, pull it up. I think that's pretty good. This one is just a touch off, but I don't even think it's going to be enough to worry about. So now let me give this a good press. And here is 3/4 of that block. I just need to make the thing for underneath. So as you see, it looks extremely difficult or complicated, and it's not. It's just taking one step at a time. I would not say that this might not be a beginner's block, but if you've got a couple quilts under you, I think you could do this. One thing I'll recommend, the white fabric is nice and thick. It's a very nice weight, and I would starch everything because it will definitely piece much smoother if you have everything starched. And you take your time. As you saw, I take my time. It's not my normal Deb zoom through it. Take your time. So I hope that that's something now. And you can see why putting it on point just takes an elegant block and brings it up that much more. So this is going, whoops, this is going to be, now you were really seeing my wrinkles. This is going to be an excellent quilt. And I will soon, and while I was working on this, she kind of hopped on my back. So, I know, Kiwi's here again. Yay, Kiwi. Oh, goodness. She's very excited. She loves when I talk to y'all because she knows, she can tell I'm happy, and she wants to be part of that. She's like, Mama's happy. This is a good thing. So anyway, but hopefully now you've learned a little bit more and learn also that sewing on curves is nothing to be afraid of. As long as every stage you're accurate. Oh, don't attack the block. Don't attack the block. She's like, that thing is coming too close to you. But anyway, so make sure that you go look at the So Wonderful site. Check out some of their beautiful curves and consider making a curved quilt for you. In fact, wait till you find out. I was looking at the outside edges and I happened to notice, look, oh, nope, that's not the edge. That's just another part of the quilt. Well, I've decided that on this quilt, instead of just finishing it off rectangularly, right where it's a concave circle here, I'm going to have it come out to a full circle. I'm going to make a scalloped edge on this quilt. Yep, I am. Which means then I've got to make all my binding on the bias so I can fit it around all those scallops. So the last time I did a scalloped edge was 17 years ago. But I'm kind of thinking I've got a little more savvy about my quilting and I'll be able to do it. So stay close. She's full of herself right now, isn't she? Kiwi, you do uppy downy, uppy downy, uppy downy. You gotta do uppy downy first. Uppy downy, uppy downy. Good girl. Good girl. But she loves it. I get so happy when I'm talking to y'all, and she's like, oh, I like that. I like that. So anyway, now she's hiding under. I think she's not happy that I cut my hair short because she likes to hide under it. And now a girl can't hide under the short hair. You like curved sewing? It's really easy. I mean, it just makes everything so different. So, yeah. I know. I do really feel good about the test, and whatever it is, I can handle it. I told Mark, I think sometime when we hear we might have a mass or something, it could be cancer, we panic because we remember the days before they had such good treatment. But now, heck no, I'm going to get it taken care of. I had a friend, I haven't talked to him in ages, but I went to school with him, and he ended up having a problem with colon cancer. But instead of just going and having it taken care of, having the surgery to, take out the polyps in the little areas, he started this kind of raw coconut milk diet stuff. No, that's not for me. If that's what he wants to do, fine. But I'm going to get the best medical care. I live in North Carolina, and we got some of the best teaching hospitals and hospitals around, and I'm getting the best care and having it taken care of. Yep. Because I got lots of stuff to do. Oh, I have lots of curves too. Let me tell you. Oh, hi, Angela Adele. How are you? Cheryl, thank you for asking. I should know the results by like Tuesday. And, because, I had it done late Friday night. What are you saying? And I got to let my doctor, oh, you know what? It might be Wednesday. My doctor's off on Monday, so we'll find out. But I feel too good to have it be bad news. I think you kind of know. So they'll just go in, nip it out, and then I get to be the Queen of Sheba and lay in my hammock for days. I can do that. I can do that. I told Mark, I said, let's plan healthy, easy dinners because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some kind of laparoscopic surgery. I said, so let's plan easy meals. So, because I'm going to have a little bell and I'm going to ring the little bell and say, I need some more lemonade. Kiwi tries to extend beyond me and poop. But if I'm not watching her, she is potty trained of sorts. This kind of bird is so cute. They make a point of sticking themselves out beyond their nest to poop. They're very fastidious. So you can tell when she starts to back up. She lifts her tail up and starts to back up. And if I quickly put my finger under her and say, step up, and I put her in her cage and I say, go potty. She will back up in her cage, potty, and then she'll come back and I get her out. But it requires me watching her because they poop like every 10 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't see any on either side yet, but let me see if I can get her to do. Come here, step up. Okay, let me see. Hey, don't attack me. Go potty. Go potty. Go potty. There. I saw your tail come up. Go potty. I think she was pretending. You want to come back? Okay. Good girl. But I can do that with her. I started with her when she was real young. And but she tries not to potty on me or her own space. And that makes them kind of nice. So anyway, any questions you have? Yeah, it's like, but I don't, if I get it on me, I just throw the shirt in the wash. She's playing with my fabric. She's trying to throw my fabric off here. Ow, hey, stop. That's not nice. She's in a mood because that fabric is moving around her. Are you going to be nice? Let's see if I can pick her up without her biting me. Ready? Step up. You have to go in bold. And that's hard because you're going to get bitten, but you cannot allow them to think they're getting away with it. But, I got a little bit of a red mark right there where she nipped me. If you do not like being nipped, do not get a bird like this. Cockatiels, my cockatiel hardly ever nips me. She's full of piss and vinegar, so she will. And I just talk to her. And then she's like, oh. So understand, these are challenging animals. They require a lot of attention. Don't get them if you just want a sweet little pretty thing. So, but for me, I enjoy it. So I enjoy the challenge of working with her. But you have to work with them regularly. She will get so angry and nasty if I don't give her enough attention. She's smart. She wants to be stimulated. And if I'm going to keep her in captivity, she was born in captivity. Understand, I would never participate in the illegal bird trade. But it's my responsibility. If I'm going to keep her in captivity, I have to entertain her for the next 26 years. Okay? So anyway, yeah, cockatiels are a lot more gentle, and they love whistling with you and all of that. She is a pistol, but it's fun that she's so smart, and it's fun that I can teach her to do things. Finny, the only thing I can teach Finny to do is to whistle the Andy Griffith song, The Fishing Hole. But it's like, whoa. Yeah, if you want my blouse, you can have this blouse. It is made of some odd fabric that feels, it's not my favorite because I love everything cotton and soft and smooth. And actually, if I could live in t-shirts and t-shorts for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. So anyway, well, and you like that red tail? And she would have blue flight feathers, which makes her really colorful and pretty. She's called a cinnamon green cheek. The straightforward green cheek has black head, and she's called a cinnamon. Right? Right? Can I have a kiss? Kiss, kiss. Hey, give me a kiss. No. So, but she's feisty. Let me tell you. So anyway, but it's neat. Both Finny and Kiwi know their names. Oh boy, see, when I say Kiwi, she gets excited. Oh, I've got to tell you this. In her native, she is a South American. Her breed is a South American bird. They live mostly on figs. My fig tree is ripening. We brought her in a fig last night. She went nuts. She loved it. And she was raised by a breeder for PetSmart. So she's never been anywhere near figs or her native land, but something in her instinct said, that's yummy. So I ate half the fig and gave her the other half. So anyway, well, anything else going on or questions you might have? My sweetheart is back. His motorcycle I heard it go in the garage, so I'm going to go spend time with my sweetie. Anything else? Y'all are dear hearts. If you belong to our group, I will be, they live 28 years, so I've been trying to talk my kids, because I don't think I'm going to be around in 28 years, and so I'm going to have to make some kind of plans for who would be a good caretaker when I'm not here. That's kind of sad to think about, but that's another reason I would love to have an African gray and work with it and teach it to talk. But when they get that smart, I really wish they weren't in captivity. And then they live like 80 years. I can't take on that responsibility. But I got her when I did, and Mark was like, why are you getting another bird? Because I said, I wanted a challenge of a bird like this, a bird I can teach things to. And I'm running out of daylight. When you realize how long they live and how long I've got left, I had to jump on it. So y'all Linda McCullum is here. Yay. So Linda and Robin are our newest members of our group. So thank you, everyone. Take good care of yourself. I love you too, my Cheryl. Cheryl and Nadine are our sunshines. They just do the world for my soul. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. It was a great Sunday. And I will see some of you on Thursday night when we work on our dog quilt. I mean, I'm having so much fun reproducing those pups with fabric. And it's great. And I haven't even gotten to the fun part of thread painting and ink tips painting. So we've got that to look forward to. Take good care. Have a great week. Do something just for yourself. See you later, guys. Bye-bye. We'll try to do those dragonflies next week. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, y'all. Take good care. Oh, did Linda say I didn't see her? Oh, is Susan just the best moderator in the whole world? She is the very best. Take good care. Bye-bye, guys.